Good day and welcome to Balls of Fire on P&B TV, where we confront the biggest issues in sports with honesty, structure, and fearless analysis. I'm Aroko Tom, and alongside me is Abel Sunday. Today we return to our focus to sports that once united a nation, produced NBA stars, and commanded global respect, but now faces serious structural questions. Our topic is simple but urgent: the state of Nigerian basketball, from administrative crisis and league instability to grassroots neglect, player welfare concerns, sponsorship struggles, and the future of national team. Nigerian basketball stands at a crossroad. Is the system rebuilding? Is it regressing? Or are we simply managing decline? To help us unpack this critical conversation, we are being joined by a respected voice with deep insights into sport development and structure. Joining us first is Mr. Josiah Delight Amedu, a media marketing sports professional, seasoned TV presenter, and a pastor by calling. He brings a rare blend of analytical clarity and leadership perspective to sport discourse. Good morning, Mr. Amedu.
Thanks for bringing me here to your studios. It's a delight to be here, as my name is, and I'm excited to be among two great presenters of this show.
Okay, nice to meet you. You know, we've heard a lot about you, and we've heard about your impact in basketball. And before we start formally, we would like to first commend you for what you've done for Nigerian basketball so far.
Thank you very much. I think every one of us, including yourself, is also contributing to the development of basketball. One of the things people don't understand, those who criticize are the ones that show you the way and pump us to doing the right thing. Fantastic. And when the right things are not done, we're in chaos. And people most times don't like the right things because they like chaos for their own benefits.
You're correct. You're correct. Thank you so much again, Pastor. I want to call. I don't know if you're okay with that.
No. Just call me Mr. Delight. I'll appreciate that.
Okay, let's dive into the conversation.
Okay.
Nigerian basketball, is it progressing, or we are seeing, or we are just simply managing crisis after crisis?
First of all, I'd like to say a brief of introduction of who I am before people say who is that is talking without a basis of your foundation. You must have a foundation for you to talk about the Nigerian Basketball Federation. A lot of people who talk don't have the permission and don't have the deep knowledge about the basketball. It is not just a problem that started today. It started from its foundation, where there was a lot of lacuna that was not being filled. And I have read and studied and managed sports management. I worked with a team called the Whitewood Communications. At that time, I just left university. So I am a sports marketing professional in the first place. Number two, I'm a sports journalist. That's number two. Number three, I played basketball. I played basketball at the local league, not for some I played for the Air Force team. I played for YMCA. And I played for also my university team, University of Jos. Great Jos.
That was a very strong team.
I was the captain of my team before I left. Some other people subsequently came there and became captains. And then also, I am a background personality at the Nigerian Basketball Federation from inception. I started from the cradle of basketball, where Joseph Namson Garba, late Joseph Namson Garba, if you have heard of him, in Lantan General, who was in Dudan Barak. I was then 7 years when I met Namson Garba, and I met OBJ. I was 7 when I met Oliver Johnson. And OBJ, I was 7 years old when I met him in Dudan Barak in Lagos. And he can attest to that. And I was recommending to today. So I'm talking from the cradle of where basketball started. And I know a lot of coaches today, Ganio, Tenibagbe, and the rest of them, where basketball started, where at Syrian club, the white men came to play. And all of that, and all of that, and all of that, and all of that. And then basketball started evolving. Basketball was more prominent, not in the West, in Plateau, and the North Central, and the Northeastern states of Sokoto. That's where basketball was before, not in the Lagos state. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
So, but as it evolves, we grew up. I went to school. I didn't play basketball. I played football with the likes of Sampam and the likes of Odigbami. I'm just telling you my foundation. Yeah. I was a volleyball player for my university, and I also played for the great academicals in Jos before I eventually dovetailed into basketball, particularly at the 1980s down. I started playing for the Air Force basketball team. That's my foundation. And then secondly, I have traveled as a sports journalist for the NBA. I'm an NBA journalist. I'm invited every year. Like I just said to you earlier, the background. I'm supposed to be right now at the Los Angeles Clippers Arena in the dome at this hour. But unfortunately, my details for the entrance to the NBA had some kind of issue, and because of that, I withdrew my application so that I don't get any denial. So I'll go and regroup again, and I'll go. I've been to about 3 All-Stars. I was one in CNN. I mean, in Atlanta, Georgia, the CNN Dome, where it housed the Atlanta Hawks. And I've been to the last one at New Orleans, where Hurricane Katrina happened. And I was there to help muster some of the community works that the NBA do. And all of that are part of the NBA community works that we do. So let's come back to the Nigerian basketball. Where did this all start? The Nigerian Basketball Federation was known as the National Basketball Association.
Before?
Yes. It was not a federation. But as it kept on going, they changed the name to federation because of them to get independence. And it was required by FIBA that every federation should be independent of themselves, irrespective of what they are, not having interference from the sports ministry of any country. And you cannot operate in that light without having a constitution that guides you.
True.
And so that was the reason, that was the beginning of our problem. Because at the time we're NBA, it was the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports that controls all the matters in the federation. But as we kept on dovetailing, one election from UK Umar to the Bubagian and to Tijani, were all started. It was the election of Tijani to want to come to become third term
that brought the problem.
That where the everything blew up. And Tijani was a very deep personnel in the Nigerian Sports Commission sector because he was a PRO of the National Sports Commission at that time. But unfortunately for him, he met with Mr. Jalong and with the powerhouse that be Kida at that time, and Kone Sam and the rest of them. They now said, no, that cannot go. All other federation presidents have done 2 tenures. And the Nigerian constitution tells us that every sitting president of any of the country must do 2 tenures. Yeah. And so we align with the circumstance of the power of the Nigerian constitution. And so that was when they drafted that constitution, there was no 3rd term.
Okay. Let's put our feet on the brake a little bit.
Okay.
You know, when it comes to when you started basketball, you know, you spoke about playing for the FMC. I think you said playing for YMCA as well.
Yeah.
And compared to 2026 basketball, what has changed so far?
A lot have changed. The basketball we are playing right now, even at the NBA is dying. The NBA, to my mind, of what I've seen, the NBA is dying. We have lost the entertainment and we have lost the excitement. What's right now happening in the NBA is more of showman and money. Before in the NBA, you can hardly see all those fights, brawling that you see. If you do any mess up, they find you. Now, people are so much interested in money instead to want to be that they are the showman and then they're not playing as a team. In the NBA, in those days, there was a teamwork. It was not an individual work. But now you want to see someone like LeBron James want to score 60 points.
Alone.
Yes.
Alone. You want to see Steph Curry score 110 points. It's only one person that is on the limelight. And before everybody, from James Worthy to Larry Bird
Are you saying they are projecting one person? Like the team?
Right now, there's a projection of, because NBA actually have some people they project for the franchise to grow in money and wealth. It was with Chamberlain. After with Chamberlain, like that, came to Michael Jordan. And after Michael Jordan, it has gone to the late Kobe Bryant, and then Kobe Bryant, then LeBron James, then LeBron James now. It's a bit with Steph Curry, but he's not yet getting himself because LeBron James is not out of the scene yet. Until he gets out, then he becomes the face of the NBA. We are seeing Kevin Durant try, but Kevin Durant is too weak. He can't last for a while. So because of that, you cannot see them putting so much franchise on money. Are you aware now that because of the NBA franchise and for the money game, Steph Curry has left his shoe brand into Nike? Are you aware?
Yes, that's Under Armour.
He has left Under Armour.
Yes.
He's now with the Nike. That's the brand they're trying to push, and that's where they make their money. It's all about entertainment now. It's not about the excitement that we get. When you see people dunk, when you see people like the Globetrotters, bring more entertainment, but at the end of it all. But one thing I can tell you, secretly here, the NBA is a game they work like a gamble.
Okay, but you're talking about the NBA.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the NBBF, the Nigerian Basketball Federation.
The Nigerian Basketball Federation, I think, does not have a structure. And we just saw people just emerge from anywhere because of government popularity or government want to settle somebody. They just bring you to come and become the president of the NBBF. And most of them don't have depth, knowledge of the sports. Most of them say they played. Well, the one kind of loquacious basketball they played.
Give us names.
Well, with all due respect, I want to be honest and respect some people.
That's fantastic.
Like for instance, now the former president, like UK Umar, I think he played a bit of basketball, but he's not. I like him character-wise, administrative-wise, as a leader. He was able to gather his people together. He was not a one-man show person, and so he succeeded at the level with which he could. Honest, he was the first president that took us to the World Cup. I was there in Greece in 1998. He was the first president that qualified Nigeria. Then you're talking about Tijani. Tijani came because he was an educated person, and he had played the game. I played with him in the Nigerian Air Force team. I played with him at my university college days. We're teammates together, and he also is a sports administrator. So when he came, he was able to understand some things at his own time. But Buba came, but Buba was able to meet the financial stress of the federation. Before you can succeed in so many things, you have to have financial stability and muscle, which is why a lot of people have so much tilt to Kida because it's an oil magnet. But that's not enough to move the brand. You also want to create a brand of your own national team to bring the money, which we have. We have the clout. We have everything to make. So the structures were not there. What do I mean by structure? When it comes to the finance department, zero. When it comes to technical department at that time, zero. All the control lies in the hands and the bulk of the president. He's the one that dictates. He's the one that do all this. So there were no independence of this departments to operate, just like the NFF.
Yeah, okay, sir. Talking about Kida's administration now, when Kida was campaigning to become the NBBF president, I remember we have this 3-on-3, this that he was taking around. But now I can see the truck in a national stadium now packed. Nothing is going on. But before then, we were seeing Nuga. I know he did the first Nuga 3-on-3 that went around. So I don't know
you see, these are the kind of dummies people sell when they want to come to office. They just sell you that dummy, and then when they go back, it's not the continuity because there's no proper structure to run those things, which are very good fundamentals for grassroots development. Initially, when Kida came, I even have his manifesto. Those are part of the things he was supposed to be doing, but he did them even when he was not the president. When he was doing MK,
yes,
he was doing it regularly.
Because we don't have a
he was doing it all over the place, and he got a truck just for mobility so that he can move the materials and they do it. I was part of the MK group organization. I will not lie. My elder brother was, and we sold that to him, which was working. He had a very good idea. The problem he later had with people, he doesn't spare people. And number two, he doesn't carry people along. He's a man that is a one man, is a dictator. Let me use that word. Sorry to use that word.
A lot of people will argue that this administration also have done internationally, they've done well. Talking about having we've won 3 or 4 Afro basketball.
We've won about 4 Afro basketball.
Since they came, they've not lost
in a stretch.
And also the Tigers were the first African team to beat the United States during the exhibition game before the Olympics. So with that put together, you say, okay, yes, somehow they've done well, but except locally. But I don't know, can we pat them at the back, give them kudos that okay, yes, they've done well.
As you got here, when did you start? When did you start your primary school?
That should be
no wait.
That should be in the 90s.
The 90s. How did you proceed? How did you progress?
From primary to secondary.
To what?
From secondary to the university.
Is it everybody that teached you when you were in that primary school to 5?
No.
Okay. There were different people that taught you.
Yes.
So the Nigerian Basketball Federation, everybody came and added their own quota. He's not the first person that won. The person that even won the first championship, that won the first Afro basketball should be commended. Because as at that time, I'm telling you, basketball eluded the Tigers for 58 years. We're not in the focus. And they did that in Mozambique. Who did that? St. Vincent. With Udoka. That's Udoka, who is the present coach of Houston Rockets. The sister. Were the ones that come, and Maktaben and Makari won the championship, I think, in Mozambique. And then they came back again in 2005 here at the National Stadium and then won it again with some local coaches like I think Ayo Bakari, I think St. Vincent again. And then before TJ came and then won it with some other people. And then it was how many? It was 2.
Yeah.
Okay. And then he came and added 3.
Yeah.
So who was the one that added 1 before? My junior brother was a part of the coach.
Yeah.
Peter Amedu.
Yeah.
Okay, in 2019. Him and Coach Otis won 2 before Rona Makama came. So what is that? So there's a progress. And every federation president have added 1. TJ added 1. Buba added 1. Kidas added how many? 3. So when people add, and you are, what tells you? It tells you that we are progressing in our development of our basketball, not him alone. Are you getting my shot? So when people say you want to attribute success of something or 5 to one person, then it's not really good for those other people who have contributed the quota to develop basketball. We are talking of development. We're not talking of that one person. Where at that period we're looking at how to develop our basketball, and we had the right thing to do and put the right stick in the right peg, and that's where we're progressing. The men's basketball is up till now. It was only TJ that given us the biggest win. 2015, he won the first championship. That is why I can put my head for Olumide. Olumide carried a bunch of great players. The likes of Udoka, who is the captain owner of Houston Rockets. Carried Chamberlain Ubuchi. Carried a lot of NBA players we are seeing today. He was their captain. And Olumide was the one that captained that team since 2006 to 2015. So when you are talking about progress, it's not that there's only one doing it. There are people who are behind helping it. That's why leadership is sweet when you're winning. But people don't think that you are the only one doing it. And then you take the accolades. But you don't take accolades and begin to send people who are helping you away. And then you divide the federation. Right now, the federation is divided. Even amongst the board members, the 12 board members are divided.
Okay, so we're going to bring you back to the board and everything.
Yeah.
But we are still on development of Nigerian basketball.
Okay.
You know, when it comes to sponsorships, I remember when we had the DSTV League. I remember when we had several leagues that were being sponsored by different people. And right now, we in the men basketball league, you see a situation whereby we see Total, the brand Total, everywhere. In the female basketball league, we see Zenith Bank everywhere. But it seems like the impact is quite minute, you know, on ground. What can we do to change that? And how can we bring more sponsors, you know, into the basketball in Nigeria?
It's a simple thing. There is no hard and fast rule in sports marketing. The brand attracts the big spenders. And we're doing it. The only thing is that we are not being sincere with ourselves, with our financial management in NBBF. The reason why 7UP left in 2001, I was one of the facilitators of that. At that time, that was the biggest spender in basketball, with among some other people. Okay? And the problem was that we had no financial integrity. The Nigerian Basketball Federation, I stand here telling you, lacks financial integrity. Because of that, most sponsors cannot come. They had the same problem with DSTV. The same problem emanated with Kwesi. There were no proper presentation of
Kwesi brought a lot of money.
And brought a lot of money. I can tell you, person left, and there's still some fraudulent things that is surrounding that issue, which I don't want to talk about here, because I've told the person who brought it that I'm sorry for certain things I did to malign him. But I didn't malign him deliberately. I maligned him from records which are on ground for me as a journalist, and we'll do my investigation. But unfortunately, even when the Kwesi ended, 1.2 billion naira were brought. But before Kwesi ended, they didn't expend all of that money. Where is the balance of that money? To today, we don't know. Whether it's returned back to Kwesi or return is still in the coffers of whoever collected it?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. And those are the part of the problem that basketball's fright today with most people is not because leadership is not there. It's because of money gain. And if they find that you are snooping into their affairs too much, they call it a crisis, and then they begin to separate us. Right now, 4 billion naira I marked for our next championship. And then we have a problem. You are talking about DSTV. DSTV has a lot of money that they put in our basketball. They were paying every club money.
And they were paying players
as well.
Directly.
But in very moment they started paying players directly, the federation president started getting angry. Why?
Is it because from his pocket?
Because they don't like that. They will come and pinch the players' money. And so those are the problems we are having. Are you getting? Number two, we were even in are you aware that PIC was paying us for brand management? Then we'll go to Alpha issue. Alpha has not given us one dime, but they're enjoying visibility at most arena around the world. That is unfair to Nigerian basketball.
All right, let's go on a very short break. The conversation is getting heated up already. Let's go on a very short. Let's take some water. Let's have a breather. We'll go on a very short break. When we come back, of course, we'll have Mr. Josiah still with us very much in the studio. Not going to be right back. Welcome back. You see Balls of Fire live from the nation's capital. And of course, we'll have our big man here, Josiah. Thank you very much again once more for coming to this show. But let's go to the local league, sir. We saw what happened last season. Is it an elevation to the league? Because we could see some kind of flashy. Upa spent a lot of money in that Final 8 and Final 4. But from your own assessment, do you think we have gained some success in that regards?
Well, the Nigerian Premier Basketball League is so sad that it has gone to this level of wrath, and dissatisfaction amongst. Let me shock you with some interest of great accolade to the Nigerian Premier Basketball League that people don't know. Over 3 of our players went straight to the NBA from our national league after that 7-up Premier League was going on. Ejike Obuaja, Olumide Oyedeji, and one other person, I can't remember exactly, were drafted straight from here to the NBA. Ejike to Cleveland Cavaliers, playing for Union Bank. Olumide straight to, I think Orlando Magic or Seattle Supersonics, straight from the Nigerian Premier League. He was drafted 42.
Yes.
Are you hearing me? And Ojike was drafted, I think he came late, but he came late for the draft. He couldn't make it. But eventually, when he got there, they now had to trade him to a team in Europe because he already came late. But he was drafted to the Cleveland Cavaliers and was earning money. And later came back. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
So, our league structure before now was Atlantic and Savannah.
Savannah.
Are you hearing me? 2 conferences. That was what we were doing. The Canopilas would play, and everybody would play. At the end, we'll play at a period. We had a window. We had a window of like
play the conference.
To play both. Everybody would play themselves here, and then at the end, the Savannah and they will come, and then they'll play But later, in 1995, we experimented on the road trip, which is the basis of any league you can ever, where people take their turns to go around the whole Nigeria, taking turns and playing all the clubs. At that time, we had only 12 teams in the league, and it was you take it to your turn from Savannah and go and play in the north. You come from the north and play all around. You travel, you go on the way from Atlantic, and then all the come back, and it was a 6-month window. Yeah. And that made a lot of people had friends. I knew Karanamuda, I knew Bauchi, I knew Gombe. We would travel under the sponsorship of 7-Up. That money 7-Up was not giving. It's not compared to what Unibank brought. And they still continued in that dimension with Unibank for a while, playing East and End. But they say, whatever, at a point, because of greed, some people want to keep resources. They began to do a bridge league. A bridge league does not give you. In the NBA, they play, a club plays close to about 150 something games before the season ends. When you do that every day, that was why our players were ready to play. Most of our players that left also the shores of Nigeria because it was not an international league. They went to play at the NCAA. They were outstanding. I had a lot of our players, over 100 plus, who played in the NCAA, and they were outstanding and made it into the NBA. Those are the ones that they were in drafted, but they had to play in the NBA before they were drafted. So that league structure of playing a big league cannot give you the best or bring out the best in players and even coaches technically. Because it is only when you go abroad, when you travel out, that when you see opposition in a hall, that your brain will tell you, what do I play here? So when go on the road, they come with 0. But when they come back home, they come to win. That is not a good technical standing of a team. So some teams who go out, still win outside, still big canopy lads. Shows how strong. I also struck how ready and prepared you are. These are people that didn't have team, and that time it was passion driving these players. So what is wrong now? Because the structure have been tampered with. No money from the federation. Before, they had sponsors who are giving money. Now no money. That's why you see boys are idling around and they're not playing good basketball. They just, every time that there was discipline, they don't burn you that you not carry one kind of dada and come anyhow, you're looking very shabby because there was camera. How do we sell the sports when the game is won? People were coming from abroad to come and play league in Nigeria. From Ivorians. That's why, can you imagine that we are the one
going there, even to Benin.
Going to Benin. We were the ones that are going to Benin now. Benin, they want to bring now. Romari came to play for Warriors because of this road trip. And we were paying, now they're the one paying us. So what you see is that it is not as it is the determination of the federation, and because there is no technical department or there is no competition department that see to all of this. See, you don't run for federation as if you are running your personal enterprise. It's like a company. You run it like how you are running a company. You have your department of technical. This is the technical department. If you want to choose coaches, you choose coaches based on the merit of what. You don't just go and bring a coach. And it's so disappointing. Most of our local coaches are far better than these local coaches that you are bringing. Even the coach they went to bring, that you said one the one that won America. That was something that we know now.
Okay, Mr. Josiah, we know that you have a lot to say about this particular thing.
I will tell you.
You know, but what can we do to change the problems that we have in our local league? Because a lot of players have been complaining. You know, in other countries, we have players that can, like they can survive on basketball. You know, we have veterans in our league so far that normally, if you see them in other countries, if you see veterans in other countries, you can't compare the both.
So do you know that some of our league players borrow shoes to go and play league?
I'm telling you, even veterans.
They borrow shoes to go and play.
How can we solve these problems?
Thank God that you are media people. And that's when people come to talk, they should tell you what are the solutions. Solutions are sponsorships. Okay? Teams should also go and get their sponsors and stop also nagging the Nigerian Basketball Federation.
But sir, even if team had to get sponsored, the environment must be, they have to create I think that's where the federation need to come in.
I am a Dodan Warriors basketball management official. Most of our brands are from our players who had once played for our team, who are abroad. They send 12 shoes, jerseys, and pants. It's left now for the proprietor now to go and look for money to pay salaries. Sometimes once in a while, you structure you go and look for how they run clubs. You don't come and carry a caricature thing and come and bring. People are not running they're not running clubs like business.
Businesses.
They are running it as if it's a personal enterprise. That's just one day can be talking.
But how do you run a club like it's a business when we only have a league that lasts for maybe 1 month or 2 months?
Have you heard of the ABL?
That's the African
basketball league that Ugo play.
Yes.
I was part of it. I was in CBL. I was in Cameroon. They run it like a league. They look like a business. If you don't have your basic structures, you can't play. You can't play it. So the MBBS to start that. You get quality people who are coming, not just bringing people who come here and insulting you outside. That's why some people will talk to you anyhow. I'm telling you, they don't have structure. Sorry, I don't want to mention their name. Some people go and play one street basketball, win trophy, and then they'll come and tell you they know how to play basketball, they know all this things. That's bullshit.
So they have to set a standard.
You must set a standard. If the federation wants to go far with our league and makes it attractive, you must set the standard. If in NFL they do it in football. If you don't have a playing, well, for now we cannot talk about playing courts. But you need to tell us who are your management team. You bring your documents, and then you pay certain amount of fee to commit yourself. Though it's like a professional fee, but we're not professional league, but it's not a professional league. That's why people will keep quiet. You sanction people. All this hula balloon going all over the place. Too many people are talking in basketball. That's what's bringing a crisis. As much as I don't like Kida, the people are talking too much.
Talking about Kida,
yes,
you know his administration. Some will say is coming to an end. Though
no, it's already ended. It's already ended. Let me tell you, he has a very good. Look, to be honest, I was in his campaign team in 2017. He's a very good man when it comes to the idea of basketball. I would not lie to you. I was in his campaign. He's sort of like a brother. Okay, he buried my wife. He paid money for my wife to be buried when she died. But I will not, because of certain errors that he does, I say because he did that, I will not talk. No. And I told him after 2022, so I'm not going to go with you because you are doing certain things that are not right. He said, why, Josiah? I said, this and this and this you're doing. Our league is dying. They bring Total to come and sponsor our Division 1 and Division 2 for a mega 60 million for 3 years. That's an insult. Divide it for three league Division 1, Division 2, Division 3.
That's about 20 million each year.
No,
that's 60 million.
Yes,
for 3 years.
For 3 years, for
20 million.
It's 10 million, and that's
10 million.
10 million.
Are you serious?
Yes, now. Is that? And you said you're a vice president of an oil company. And but we know that money, and they've not done it for how many? They did only once.
They did one. I think it wasn't consistent. But the one that even got me.
Sir, what did you say?
It wasn't consistent.
But they were collecting the money.
Well, I don't know about.
No. See. Okay, I can excuse you. It was not consistent, is that not?
Yeah.
So why was it not consistent?
Because the last time they had.
So they don't have. They lack vision.
The last time they had Division 1 was 2022.
I can tell you, and then they
did last year.
It was a rabble rousing this. They don't rust it.
But last year, because I was on ground,
did they give team money?
That is what I wanted to
say.
The teams actually gave money.
The teams
for the first one, they gave money to teams.
Yes.
So where is the sponsorship money?
But the irony, sir, of this, sir, was Division 2 last year. You know, he heard last year.
I'm hearing you.
They gave subsidy.
Okay.
But Division 1, they did not give subsidy.
Why would they not give to Division 1?
So
that is the key. There's the key flag, the free flag of the local league. Now, and that's why I tell you, you had very good intentions, but the intentions were far beyond us. In the smoke screen, we're not seeing screen, but something else was happening behind. They were collecting the money. They didn't do it. Even when they resigned the new contract, nobody was aware. The board members were not even aware. We, as even the journalists, we had to probe. And when we probe, they say we want to expose people's this thing. Now let me fast forward also. Do you know that even the fundraising they raised for the Tigress from banks? 200 million, 300 million, 400 million. Where is it? Is that not enough to plunge into our grassroots programs?
Yes.
So why is it not there? If you collected this amount of money, 200 million, and it's not hidden, they said it. The bank said it. Is it a lie?
Yes,
They said it.
It was
It was
How many?
published.
How many? So where can they give us? That's what I tell you that when people are not too straight with their financial analysis, you have a problem. If you tell me XY, you give the money, or you give board members XY. Apart from that, they had fundraising, the money from US where they went to play what they call it, that Nigerian this thing. When you gather such money, you are not going to spend it on yourself. You bring it to the federation. Our grassroots has a problem. Let's take 100, 200 million for this and then put it aside and develop our league. Have you ever heard that they had a national camp for national for under 16?
No,
have you seen it?
No, we have never.
Our under 16 on 3, who do you think pays for the money? Is Frank Jetubo. The federation have never put their money on most even international events that you see. They borrow from zero kobo from banks and then collect money.
But sir, are there no allocation from government?
There is still allocation from government, but the allocation from government is when they want to go for international events. Local events are totally prerogatives of the federation, not the ministry.
But sir, don't you think if they allow private sector to run the league, it would have been the best?
Private sector. Who is the private sector? Who is Kida?
No, in terms of private sector,
like them to run it.
Instead of having the association, you know, be like people that we vote in. Why don't we just say, okay, why can't one company just say, okay, we are going to run this league fully from beginning to end, and the NBBF will just come to just be like
to regulate
things.
No, the ministry will not allow that. See, the ministry is the regulatory body of the federation. They will not allow that. It is the NBBF that will bring those people to work in consonance with the federation.
So there has to be a synergy.
There's a synergy. Because if you do that, you are like giving an independence to such people, and then the secret of the ministry can be exposed.
Okay.
And so you don't do that. So what we are talking about now, you now see where the issue of the local league is all about. It's how to do with structure and consistency. And then there is no department that oversees local league. In football, there is Division 1, Division 2, there's NNL. There's all those departments for everybody to be brought together. And then small money is given to them to boost their this thing. Until the local league starts to go from when we travel in and out, we cannot develop well. But well, people can adduce the fact that, and I will try to want to accept that maybe the insurgency of Boko Haram or all this kidnapping can be an issue.
Football teams that
but you see that you are seeing it, but when we were doing it before, there are even worse cases that time. Now let's say, okay, this one now. There was a panacea given. You can reduce the arena, bring the arena to 4. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
4 safe arena.
Yes.
Tell clubs from the savannah and this thing. Choose, choose your arena. And then we can run our round robin everything. Yeah. League is a round robin. If I play 20 games, how like Arsenal and just pray for them. So they can take their decision. Now you play all your round robin. The much game you win and the point you have, you become the league champion.
Okay, sir. Before we leave this league matter, I want you to comment on the finals between Marktown, that is
Marktown Flyers and Rivers Hoopers.
I want you to comment. I think we saw good basketball, and we saw some talent there as well. So I just want to get your own view on that.
Number one, I commend Marktown Flyer. I commend Manasseh.
And congratulations, because it's also a Benin team.
Yes, a Benin guy, and he's my friend. And he grew up through some of our programs.
Yes.
And he's been steadfast. He's a learner. Boko Chief, sorry, I don't want to say something here. The owner of Boko Chief is a very arrogant person. I say it, I don't care.
That's the man in the US.
As well.
Yes. He's not a patient person. He does not listen to advice. Manasseh listening to advice. Manasseh has been growing the Marktown Flyers gradually. When the owner of Lagos Legends wanted to sell that franchise, he spoke to Aminu, that MB guy, and said, come, but there's a team here. And Aminu said, what do you do? He said, you want to buy it. That's the one we have. And then they bought Lagos Legends. And then Marktown Flyers have been growing. First appearance for Marktown Flyers, I was there at the FIBA Zone 3 under 18 championship. They came with some group of young boys and came and test water. They came champion. They came back here. They played some couple of championship. They won. And then they pack those same guys. You see, one of the things in a bridge league or league is the component of your consistent players that gives you a win. Even Olumide, who has a recent hoop, have scattered players that he kept together and was doing well, but they all went to Real Pass. I will tell. It's a story for another day. Are you hearing me? And then he came. He played well. Look at what he did. He brought Bright Akwete. He brought the other guy, my brother.
Thomas.
Not Thomas. This Thomas, who was playing in Rwanda.
Yes.
Abi?
Yes.
He brought him. Then he now brought Obepa, and then added to his team to balance.
Just to balance.
The inside game. And then Ogodaudu didn't have some answers to those people. They played it to the last wire. What 2-point game? Yes. You saw. That is basketball. An exciting basketball arena. And if I tell you the River State government put a lot of money in that event, I want to tell you, this is my secret. Have a federation approached the state government to run basketball for them, to help them sponsor basketball. That's what we used to do in Lagos. Most of the basketball championships you see are run by the Lagos state government.
And because there's no any synergy between the government and also the MBPF, so there's
so quickly, because of time will not permit us. Yeah. You know, there's an election that the National Sports Commission. They said this election must hold, March 31st, 2026. And some would argue that the tenure of this particular federation, the Kida-led administration, is supposed to have ended in January. Do you think that this particular board is ready to hold this election in March?
If you disobey the constitution that you set, and then you submitted them into FIBA and said, this is what you stand by, and you break the rules, the hammer will hit you from FIBA. It's not going to come from National Sports Commission. National Sports Commission does not have anything to do with our election. It is the National Olympic Committee and FIBA. And FIBA is aware with the document they signed to congratulate Kida on the 31st of January to start his tenure.
Yeah, the second term.
The second term. They've congratulated him. And they are aware that his tenure ends this January.
January 31st.
The Congress have petitioned, which you are aware, about 34 names were listed. And they've sent the letter to FIBA in Zurich. If they like, they do anything. We will collect that ban that we thought we collected, and then we escaped it, and then they released it. This time around, are you aware that South Africa has received their ban? Are you aware that Ghana also faces this problem we are facing before they did their election just about a month ago? FIBA doesn't play when it comes to issue of trying to cheat people that you want to be in leadership. They don't care whether you know how to do it or not. As far as it's the law, abide with it. Even the Director General or Lakpade is aware that Kida's tenure is ended on the 31st of January. He said it in the stakeholders reconciliation meeting. And everyone is aware. They only said they gave Congress 21 days to form. And he is the one that called the election. But because of his smartness and the quietness he doesn't want, and from the play that's coming from government, we don't want to say anything. And they've written to the secretary, call for an election on or before, after the Congress 21 days elapses. If you don't do that, we'll wait for what FIBA will tell us.
So I will have Mark Iguche that throw down the towel that he wants to contest. We'll have the likes of Olumide. And we don't know whether other persons will still come, but these are the two guys we know for now. But from your own calculation, what do you think will be the best for Nigerian basketball as it stands now?
For me, it's only except God decide to change the narratives.
Yeah.
But if it's my experience in basketball, Olumide has an edge. If you read his resume, and if you read his interference, his interloping, or what I call it, Olumide is an international brand.
He's the current Olympic.
That's number one.
Yeah.
And number two is the third vice president of the National Olympic Committee in Nigeria. Number three is the second vice chairman of the Lagos State Basketball Association. He is the Southwest representative of the Southwest Zone. Olumide is an ex-NBA player.
And is also the first African Secretary General of the World Olympic Association.
Number two, Olumide has been consistent with his team, Risa Hoop, going for championship, and also he has learned over the years, and he has associated in the NBA. He also has played in China, Venezuela, and so many places. That man cannot be taken for a ride. He has played in Russia. He is the present ambassador for Peak and Nike in the world. The Nike people are waiting for him because they always come around their own to sponsor the Nigerian Premier Basketball League. When people come and say they are doing Mark the Ball, I am a member of the Mark the Ball from beginning. Mark the Ball and Mark Mentors. Where is Mark Mentors? He's dead. He's not consistent. Mark the Ball only did it in 2022. Each time there's an election, they come up with this mantra. And that's what I don't like. And I tell IG, you don't win an election, and you disappear from the horizon. You just appear. And then they went to Latvia to go and mess themselves up. Because they're looking for, they're trying to look for, what do you call it? They're looking for votes from there. And they are maligning people's name. And you don't do more slinging. You do what is right. Olumide is more nationally known. Olumide is the national captain of Nigerian basketball, one-time captain. All his mates in the NBA who played with him before, we willing to help him. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
And number two, he has learned to be humble. When he didn't want to even announce his this thing. That's why Kida won't say, God, there was rumor that Kida is saying that he wants to remove them from office because they want to come. So he was quiet until after all this 31st, when everybody's gone. Then you know that the coast is clear. He has never said anything. It's us that will see the ability. Igote has a very good leadership quality and everything. But in terms of experience and leadership, this thing, for me or for now, I told him, I would have not prefer you to go and walk behind Olumide. Two of you are young men. Work together and bring unity. Revive. For now, we don't need anything. We don't need a restoration. Revive our basketball. You two. Come together and work together. What is fighting for all leadership? You know your strength, I know my strength. You come together and work. But if everybody want to say, you talk of leadership position and the resume, somebody said qualification is not important. That I said, what? Qualification is not important. Go to some agency and go and work. Whether they will not use qualification. Your promotion, in your promotion in your office, what they use to promote you. So you are talking, and then you are talking that qualification is not important because you are trying to write a narrative for someone to win an election. That's bullshit. It means that you are biased. You are not willing to say the truth to help our sports to
well,
move.
it seems, the time will not permit us. It seems like you have a lot more to say. And obviously, we have to bring you here again to tell us more about this, especially before the elections. We've spoken about the Nigerian Basketball League, where we've come from.
Yeah.
You've shed a lot of light on how we should move forward. You shedded light on the elections, shedded light on the candidates, which is Olumide Oyedeji and Mark Ugochi, and who you are supporting. Other people have ulterior, they have other views, but you said that is your own view, and that's where you.
I was with him for 2022. I was his media. I was his media director, and I've told him why I cannot betray my brother.
Fantastic.
Colonel Sam Ahmedu is my brother, and I queue behind who is supporting.
Okay, fantastic.
That's the reason why. And when I queue behind him, I have a reason why I queue behind him. I didn't queue behind him blindly. I queue behind him to see who actually. Olumide has been running a children's league, a children's camp for 24 years now, after he became an NBA player, consistently developing players who are playing abroad now. When did Mark the Ball start? So when we are talking about consistency in leadership, you should look at the person's resume and look at the person who people he has shown for development.
Fantastic. You said it all. Well, and that brings us to the end of today's powerful discussion on the state of Nigerian basketball here on Balls of Fire on P&B TV. A big thank you to our distinguished guest, Mr. Josiah Delight Hamedu. We are delighted to have you here, as your name says, for clarity and insight and honesty. The future of Nigerian basketball depends not just on players, but on leadership structure, accountability, and collective responsibility. For myself, Aroko Tom, and Abel Sunday. Thank you for watching. You know, if you enjoyed the discussion and want more in-depth analysis, exclusive breakdowns, and fearless sports conversations, follow us on all our social media platforms. On YouTube at Politics&BusinessTV.English, on Facebook at P&B-TV-English, on Instagram at P&B-TV_English, and on X, formerly Twitter, at P&B-TV_ENG. Join the conversation, because here on Balls of Fire, we don't just report sports, we challenge it to grow. Until next time, keep the conversation alive, keep supporting development, and keep the fire burning. This is Balls of Fire on P&B TV.